What does the future of leadership look like? How do you fit into that future? How do you create yourself into a value for that future? These are probably the questions you're asking yourself as you're going through your leadership journey. How do I fit? Am I doing the right thing? Am I going in the right direction? Am I impacting the world in a positive way that I would like to impact it? Of course you have these questions. They're important to you. They're important to everybody. It's a part of your identity, in your purpose, and you're here to grow to be able to fulfill those two things. So the first thing that we just need to understand is, how are you going to be able to adapt with a changing world? We all know that the world's always in change. By understanding everything that's out there in between the environment, the geopolitical climate, and just the way that people are changing the way they view things, you are trying to figure out, how do you create an impact? How do you create the ability to gather people around your vision and to move forward? And with your ability to be adaptable and flexible, you're able then to be able to work with a changing world. But most importantly, do you have the wisdom, the experience, or do you have the courage to make the changes? You see, if we know that things are always changing, why don't we take control of change? Let it bend to our direction, to be able to manipulate it so that we can serve the people that we are leading to have a better future, have a brighter future, and to be able to bend things to our opportunities. If you can adapt and you can control change, now you need to know how to make decisions. Decisions isn't about having experience, even though it helps. Decisions is about having the tools to help you. Everyone believes that this worked for us earlier, that this decision works well. You gotta remember, that's a different time, different place, different set of circumstances that were evolving around that. What worked in 1980s is not gonna work in 2020. What worked in 1950s did not work in 1980s. You are the person that has to be able to make good decisions through good information. And that's where you have to be able to evaluate it and judge it, and then be able to implement it. As you're moving with the flow of time, you also just have to understand that your position that you're in requires you to take your leadership skills and your management skills and make them complement each other. You see, no matter how big of a team you're leading, whether it's 4 people or 2,000 people, those two things complementing each other serves the greater cause. And here's how. So in LinkedIn, we see leadership being this whole, oversimplified, that it's, being a good person. I agree, it is. But on the other side, our managerial skills are those skills that tell us to hold the standard. So that when our top 10 percenters are looking at us going, hey, why are you allowing the bottom 10 percenters get away with things? That you are not tolerating the erosion of this culture of excellence that you're trying to perpetuate within your organizations. It's 100% patience, 0% tolerance. You're patient with the people that you trust, that they will learn at their pace and they will grow. But you do not tolerate those that refuse to do more than the bare minimum, that even make the bare minimum, that are trying to find every gap to get by. I had a commanding officer who worded it perfectly. All of our goals are not to be within hitting this paper target. All of our goals is to hit center mass, that black dot in the middle of the target. Because if you miss on the paper, you're outside the law, you're outside the rules. But if you aim small, you aim for that tiny spot, and when you do miss, you miss small. You're still within the boundary of what the bare minimum is. And by having that visualization in your mind, you're able to think, aim small, miss small. So when you do not make your goal, it just takes a week or two, finish it, and be able to set your next goal. Setting goals is not hard, it's just about stretching it just a little bit out of reach. So when you do make it, you're happy, you're surprised, and you're energetic to go on with it. And when you miss it, you didn't miss it by much. And you're able to overcome that deficiency and be able to continue down the road of hitting more goals. Before I forget, there's a major thing that you as a leader going into the future need to understand. It's the most important thing that we tell all of our clients, whether we're doing leadership, business, personal finance. This rule applies to life itself. And that rule is, when everything's a priority, nothing is a priority. What we're saying is you need to prioritize the most important thing that allows you to have success, allows you to be able to hit the goals that you're aiming at. A great visualization that I was taught was, you have 10 soccer balls and you have 10 attempts to kick the soccer ball as far as you can. Most people, they'll just take one kick at each ball and see how far each one kick got them down the field. But the true success lies in taking that one ball and giving it 10 good kicks and seeing how much further it goes than everyone else. That is why you prioritize things. It gives you focus, allows you to be able to understand what will create success. And by learning how to prioritize what will bring you success, and then learning how to focus on that thing, will allow you to be able to do so much greater. It's kind of like going back to asking the question why, but following it up with so what. It has that same impact. So when you go ahead after you're making decisions, you're about to set goals, figure out, how do you prioritize it? And then, so what? What's the impact? And then how do you make more impact to it? So once again, the question being asked here is, what does the future of leadership look like? And the overall answer is, it does not matter. As long as you're adaptable, as long as you understand that you can control the change or manipulate the change to impact the opportunities for your people, that you're able to complement your managerial skills with your leadership skills to be able to create a culture of excellence, which in turn will create a culture of trust. And that by setting goals of aiming small, missing small, will help you and your team be able to achieve greater things. If you're not liking what you're hearing from us, tell us in the comments below what you would like for us to talk about, how we can add more value to you, the growing leader, to be better. Our success isn't about how many views we get on our videos. Our success is the impact that we have on you to be a better leader, to get rid of these toxic communities, these toxic leaders, these toxic corporations, and let the Phoenix effect happen and allow brand new leaders, brand new visions, brand new corporations rise from those ashes and propel us to the future. I'm Eric with Leadership Developed. If you like this video, hey, do us a favor. Hey, give us a thumbs up. Just tell us that you like what we're doing. If you missed last week's video, hey, check it out right over here. We'll talk to you again next week.